Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of SeemsGoodMagic.com. This is Travis, Simulant Sowers, and we're going to do another one of these phantom sealed queues. I've got some PTQs coming up this afternoon and tomorrow, which are sealed, and this is, as far as I'm concerned, a terrific way to practice for them. At only 8 tickets or 80 play points, you can kind of hop right in, build a pool, play 3 quick games, and then you're done. So as soon as we've got one more person in here, we will get started. Alright, here we go. So typically I like to look at rares first, just because, you know, I'm human and I'm curious. Did we open something good? This is the second time I've opened a Planeswalker and an Expedition in Phantom Sealed, which is pretty dang funny. That said, it's still important to learn how to play with these cards. So we've got my invitational card, Oblivion Sour. We've got Nissa, so obviously we're interested in playing green. Mana Confluence to fix our mana if we decide we want to go that way. It'd be nice if Mana Confluence could tap to just give you colorless. I'm just saying, that would have been cool. We've got a Sea Rush of Tentacles, Remorseless Garbage, Plana Outburst, and Jorian Ruin Diver. So interesting rare pool that we've got here. Let's see where we go. I also do like to take a quick peek at fixing and or colorless cards before we go any further. So I'd say we're pretty much going to play the Oblivion Sower and the Kozilek's Channeler in any deck that we make. Probably running the Seer's Lantern too, as most sealed decks are kind of mid-rangey, control-ish sort of things. Dutch, stop knocking on the door, buddy. Relax, go sleep in a box. And we've got 2 Warden of Geometries. Not as good as the Wardens of Calculus, but I mean, those are playable, I suppose. And for the fixing, we have, well, Obligated Fin isn't really fixing, but it's a land we could use. We've got Unknown Shores, Tranquil Expanse, Timber Gorge, and the Confluence. So for like green base, we've got some potential splash action going on. Let's see what we got over here. Gonna pull down all of the playable cards, and then put the cards that kind of draw me to a color on top. White's actually looking pretty good. And, you know, some of the cards that I'm not pulling down may be technically playable. Like there's a deck where you could play the Expedition Envoy, and I'm not embarrassed if I'm running a Fortified Rampart. But I'm kind of taking out the stuff that I'm like, cool, this would be good-ish in most sealed decks. Whereas these are kind of things that are going to take a specific build to play. Anyway, so this one has Planar Outburst, Sheer Drop, to a lesser extent Ghostly Sentinel, but I mean that can win a game. And I kind of like the double shoulder to shoulder plan. Like that'll cycle you through and get you to the Planar Outburst. So white isn't particularly deep, although again you could add in some of the rest of this. I think there's a chance we're interested in that. Let's see what blue has for us. Rolling Waters, Crush of Tentacles, Unity of Porpoise. I like what's happening here. I'll play one divination. What do they call it these days? Comparative analysis. Not divination. Inspiration. It's the old one that had Oprah on it. That's right. Blue actually looks really good too. It's got Rolling Waters, Crush of Tentacles, Unity of Porpoise, which I think is a great card. Clutch of Currents, to a lesser extent Big Benny, and the Containment Membrane. I like everything that's happening here too. Like here's 23 cards. That's a deck. It's a deck that's not playing some of the powerful stuff we open, but we'll see about that. All right, what do we got over here? Black is not deep enough. So black is, if anything, a splash for Oblivion Strike. Like Witness the End is fine. I'm not saying it's not okay, but you add that to this batch and it's still not there. Slitherskin I've played before, but it needs to be in a heavy colorless deck, and we don't have that many colorless cards. Like you can just look at this pool and see there's not that many of them. It would take a very special deck for me to want Untamed Hunger, Retreat to Hagra, Sky Scour, or Reaver Drone. So I think we can rule out black as anything other than potentially a splash for Flare Drone, Nullifier / Oblivion Strike. And again, it's not too hard to splash for that with the Unknown Shores and the Mana Confluence. All right, what have you got for me, Red? Sure, I mean, these are playable, but they're not exciting. Yeah, see, red has a lot of playables, but it's missing the cards that kind of draw me into the color. Like, we'd be playing red for a Stone Fury and an Outnumber, which are fine cards, but it drops off pretty quickly after that. Seek the Wilds. Yeah, I mean, that's playable. Huh. So, like, green has Nissa and Tajuru Pathwarden, and that's kind of it, actually. Huh. That is disappointing, because I would have liked to have played Nissa, but I don't think that we can. We can look at a build that includes her, but the first thing I want to look at is blue-white. It's going to be short creatures, but we can probably do something about that, because we'd be playing these two for sure. And things like Slip Through Space really aren't super necessary. We've also got things like the Rampart and the Envoy if we decide that we want them. Like, this deck actually looks fairly solid. I don't think I necessarily need the Slip Through Space. I'd have Envoy and Clutch to trigger the Crush if we wanted to go with that. Yeah, like, we've got too many playables here, which is kind of cool. And the deck actually does have a plan. The only thing that doesn't really fit into it is these guys, but even they can come out and be aggressive. Be aggressive. I would kind of want the Seer's Lantern in this deck too. This is just too many playables. Okay, so we've got this deck in our pocket, and it looks like a good one. For funsies, let's look at something that plays Nissa. It would probably have to be green-white or green-blue. Let's look at green-white. Like, this is also interesting. It probably takes a little better advantage of the Spawnbinder Mage, but not by much. Like, we could probably skip on the Seek the Wilds here. I feel like this is almost the same deck without the big giant payoff. It would give me access to a duel here and a red duel if we wanted to splash Outnumber, or potentially the Resolute Blade Master. So we've got that in here. And then last thing I want to do is take a peek at blue-red and see if there's actually just a Surge deck that we could do. Alright, so we would have Jorian, all of these things. Get in there. Probably the slip in that build. Wow, that's a lot of spells. So there would be some cuts to make here too, but this deck doesn't actually look all that bad either. The downside is it's losing the power of that planar outburst, and I really want to get that into a deck. If my main draw to blue is the Crush of Tentacles and the Roiling Waters, but I think I need to go ahead and do the green-white. I think that may be our best bet. It lets me play several of the strongest cards, and it doesn't really rely on anything else. Let's look at that again and be sure I'm not crazy. Because we still get our buddies here. It probably takes better advantage of the shoulder to shoulders. So removal wise, we've still got sheer drop, elemental uprising, and that's kind of it. That's the one thing we don't get is like good removal. We'll have to use Vines of the Recluse as removal, shoulder to shoulder as removal. I could splash for the outnumber here. Maybe the outnumber and the Blade Master. That actually wouldn't be all that difficult. Let's see, I could maybe play here, and just to get a removal spell in the deck. Like, this is a light splash. I realize it seems weird splashing for a 1-drop, but when one of our mana sources for it is going to be an Unknown Shores, it kind of, sort of, maybe starts to make sense. I also don't hate getting the Seer's Lantern in there, but this deck kind of wants to curve out. I don't know about running the Mana Confluence either. But I'd want 3 red sources, and that gives me 3 red sources. And Evolving Wilds would go a long way for this deck, too. I don't have a dire need for colorless sources, like we're planning to trigger onto this more than anything else. You know, maybe I don't need it. I just wish there was a way to get like some removal spell in here, or I could just splash for exactly outnumber. Like the Blade Master's cool. I would like to play it. We've kind of already got some late game mana sinks. This is a close one because I don't think the blue-white build is bad either. I'm not even convinced that this is the right build, because I get Clutch, Rolling Waters, Gravity Negator, but I still feel like a lot of the power of the deck is the Oblivion Sower. And this deck might let me play it better. I want the Seer's Lantern in here somewhere. I can't really cut a dude. So maybe I cut Pulse. This is not really a control deck that we're trying to build here. We do have some shenanigans going here. All right, I'll give this a try for game 1. There's a strong possibility that we side into the blue-white deck, and I'm probably going to build it as soon as we have time, so we'll have that in our back pocket. I think I'm going to run without the Mana Confluence. Just taking a damage every time we want to do something seems pretty bad. And I think I'm going to splash this off of just the Unknown Shores and the Timber Gorge, which is less sources than I like to get in there. But I think between that and the Scries here, like, this is kind of a backup plan. Our main plan is roll them over by curving out and attacking them with dudes that have been shoulder to shoulder did. And that sort of gives us more outs to draw the lands for that. So even though this is a little bit greedy on the mana base, I don't want to submit a deck that doesn't have any removal spells, unless I can get away with it. 6, 7, 8, 7, 8. 8, 8, 2. I'd say I think I want that other planes. I could just run 18 land. Maybe I've talked myself into it. But we want to hit double white and double green. Like, how often are you going to do that, Travis? Is that something you can actually do? I don't know. Six, 7, 8. 7, 8. I want to hit this on turn 1. I want to hit that on turn... Yeah, we can try this. We can try this. All right, I'm going to submit this one, and then we're going to build the blue deck. Because we've still got 5 minutes. So that one's submitted. And we're going to put together the blue-white deck. Because I don't think that's bad either. That one probably would want the ramparts. Probably doesn't want the envoy. Probably doesn't need the shoulder to shoulders, at least not all of them. I guess you could consider cutting the other one too, or cutting Sweep Away. Like, I like Sweep Away as a card. Comparative Analysis is also not like crazy stellar. Yeah, I've already got a draw 2 in there. Like, I think this deck is reasonable too. I think we'd want one extra colorless source in there for the gravity negator. I'm going to have this one saved so that if we want to side into it, we can. Sure, it can be Nissa on it. That makes it funny because the other deck's the one that had Nissa on it. Okay, so we'll start off with the green-white build, and we'll have this in our pocket to switch to if we want to. Because I think there's matchups where this deck will be better. Its removal suite is certainly better. So I'm going to try the other one for game 1. Like, ideally we run over them with like aggressive white-green starts. And then we'll consider sideboarding if we want to bring this in. So thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you for round 1 in just a moment.